Hey guys, it's May. Yes, this is a journal, but we're actually doing the card projects that we were doing the other day. We're finishing our A Very Merry Christmas card projects, but I want to show you something that I saw. So I was doing the flip through of this book, and this page just struck me. I really loved how this turned out. This is just a little slider page that I can put pictures in or whatever, but I love the way this looked, and I got to thinking I'd love to see this on cards. So this is the layout I'm going to use for my cards as we keep going in this process. So I wanted to show you where that came from. There's a video coming on my channel for this. I have a walkthrough of it, whole 9 yards. I'll be sure to link that below because I know you'll have questions about that dude. But I will put it out of the way for now and show you what I did. So I took one of those pieces that I showed you guys where you can cut down and basically make a card front and then design your own layouts on top of it. So this piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and I'm designing my layout by using this as my pattern. Okay, so what I did was I made a stripe that is 1 3/4 inches wide to mimic the stripe on that layout I just showed you. And then if you remember when we dissected all of these pieces, by the way, if this is your first time to this process with these cards, I'll link all the videos leading up to this point. So we dissect all these pieces, right? So what I did was I went through and I laid them on top of that line to see if they would fit, and that's going to work. And then I would lay this one down, and all I was looking for was for it to overlap that strip in the back and to be short enough to fit on the front of the card. I'll show you some that don't work. Like this guy, because he lays this way, he won't work, so he goes in a different pile. This one is too small, he goes in a different pile, etc., etc. Okay, so I have my won't work pile over here. But all of these guys are going to work. And I'm actually going to go ahead and cut this one in half, even though I wasn't sure I was, but I think it'd make 2 cute cards. Okay, so all of these guys are going to fit in this layout. So I did that first, and I decided how many of these I had, which I think is 12. So there's 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I'm going to make 14 cards out of this by using this layout. Then I went into my paper pack and I decided I want this as a background. I want this as a background. I think I want this as a background. And I know I want this as that stripe that I showed you. You know, the stripe on the card? I think this will be cool. Here's the problem. I had to decide to give up this page. I know, it's absolutely horrible because I love this side just as much. But I did use this one on a different project, so I thought, you know, I can handle it. And I really want to use this stripe. So now I just need to do some breaking down of these pages. So I know I'm using an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I need this to be 4. Remember, measure twice, cut. So I'm going to cut these down to 4. As many times as I can, these pieces I chose to be background pieces. And remember, I want to make all the cards I can out of this paper kit, so I'm okay with this. This was the plan, okay? So cut this away, and that gets me a piece that I can save if I want to, but I'm not going to. I have plenty of scraps. So that gets me 3 pieces like that. Now I need to cut these down to be 5 inches, 5 1/4 inches. Set this one down. That's 2 backgrounds. And this I will save because I feel confident I can use this. So I'm going to keep going. I'm going to try to cut 2 at one time here. So we've got 2 stacked up, 5 1/4. So that's 2 more. And then 5 1/4. So all those little scraps I'm going to save because they're the perfect width already for a card, and you just never know how I might use those. All right, so this got me 6, and I needed 14, I think. I should write that number down, but I didn't. So let's go to the next one. I think I'm going to do this one with the snowflakes because I think it's really pretty. So I'm going to cut it down to 4, just like we did the blue sheet. So I'll get 3 strips that are 4 inches wide out of this 12-inch sheet. Just like so. Get that one on there neater. Again, not saving these strips. You can if you want to. Then I'm going to cut these down to 5 1/4. So I'll get 6 more of these, and I'll have those little strips left over. This is perfect to use. That's a great size. So this will get me 12, and I just need 2 more of these. But I think what I'll do, because this let me cut 2 even pieces of paper, I think I'll make 12 cards and see what I have left before I cut another full sheet. Because I might decide to change my layout up a little bit. All right, so move these out of the way. Now what I'm going to need is that strip that is that 1 3/4 strip, and I need it to be 5 1/4 tall, and I need 12 of those. So what I'm going to do, how do I want to do this? I'm going to put this into my trimmer, and I'm going to cut it down to 5 1/4 first, because that's the height that I will need. And then I'm going to see how many I can get out of this strip. So 1 3/4, correct? I'm looking again to make sure. So I'm going to lay this here. Tell you what, this is why I do this. I'm going to close this arm down, and I'm going to measure on this side. I can hold it better, and it gives me a little more room on the table to work. So I'm going to cut this to 1 3/4. So there's that strip that will live here. Look how cute that's going to be mixing those patterns. And we'll have one of these guys mounted. I love all those mixed vintage patterns. Oh, that's going to be cute. Okay, so that's one. Let's see how many we can get. So I got 6 out of there at 1 3/4, and I have 1 left. It's not exactly the right size, but I'm going to hold on to it because I can use it in a different layout. Then I'm going to go back and finish this off to get me the other 6. So I will be able to get 12 out of this one sheet. So cut this down to 5 1/4. I'll save this for another project, for another card, and then again, let's do these at 1 3/4. I hope this process is making sense. What I decided to do, which is a little different this time for me, is I saw that layout and went, that's how I want to lay out my cards. So I'm going to make as many as I can in that layout, and then with the scraps that are left over, I'll decide how many more cards I can make out of it that way. So I'm still getting all the cards I can get out of this paper pack, but I'm going to get them the way I want them, if that makes sense. I chose the layout that really spoke to me, and then whatever's left, I can play along. And I might have a little more kind of rules or restrictions because I'll have scraps, but I'll still be able to get it done. So look at that, all 12 of them ready to go. All right, now for what I was telling you I wanted to show you that I think we can do. So here's one of those pieces. Let's do a little layout. The only thing I'm going to have to decide at this point when I assemble my cards is going to be, do I want this piece to go on blue or red, if that makes sense, because we're going to make 6 of each. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and lay this piece on, just like this. Notice I can't use the back. Well, I can use the back on some of those because they're solid, but some of these are going to have images like that. So I'm just going to lay this on here to give me an idea of how this is going to lay out. I have to be kind of picky like that. And I'm just going to look. Do I want this one to go on the blue or the red? I think this really pops on the blue, so I'm going to put it in that pile. And I'm just going to run through each one and look. How does this one look on the blue? It's cute, but I really like it on the red. It's kind of fun. It kind of gives you a precursor of what you're going to be doing. That blue looks really cute on the blue. I'm going to do that. That really pops on the blue. It looks good on the red too, though. I'm going to do it over there. That looks good on the red, but I like that on the blue. So I'm just going to go through and do that, and then we'll do our little background trick I want to show you. So I got everything decided. So what I'm going to do is take these guys, and I'm going to put them on top of the blue stack. Okay, so that's cards right there. I'm going to take these guys and put them on the red, and that's cards. So now I'm just going to set this aside and show you my plan here. So this is just a piece of white cardstock. On each one of these, I want to put a white edge around them. Now, I would normally do this with my mini perfect layers, which are amazing and they make things super easy, but they're not available anymore. So I got to thinking, I think I can do this with my Tim Holtz ruler. We're going to see how easy this is or how difficult, but I think it will work. So I've got a piece of paper. I don't want to measure every one of these things. You could totally just measure this and cut it on your trimmer, the width you want it to hang off the edge, but I am not interested in all that. I want to do this super quick and easy, so I think this is going to work. So I'm going to need my X-Acto blade, whatever blade you use. This is my pen knife here, and I'm going to use my ruler. Now I'm going to use the grid inside this ruler to help me do this. All right, let me bring this up really close. So because this is open and we have a grid inside, we can also measure inside the ruler, not just along the ruler. So this first dash line in is 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay it right beside that little image on the 1/8 of an inch, and I'm going to use my blade to slice. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run multiple passes with my blade so as not to drag the page or move the page. So I'm taking lighter, more passes instead of firmer, less passes, if that makes sense. It probably does if you use an X-Acto very often. Instead of sitting here, you know, cutting as hard as I can to get through at one time, I'm going with an easy hand so as not to wiggle anything around. And I'm just going to go over it a couple times. And then, see, it cuts right away. This is totally going to work. And all you got to do is lay that little guy down. It also helps to have a self-healing mat underneath, because that way your work surface underneath won't get messed up. So I'm going to do that. And I'm holding it easy, remember, because I don't want to wiggle. So I'm going to go over until it cuts. So if you've been wanting that perfect layers tool, if you have this Tim Holtz ruler that you can see through, you pretty much already have it. Now, one thing I want to caution you on, keep your thumb back here out of the way. See how this thumb is back in the ruler? Don't leave your thumb hanging over and slide this down, because you will get yourself. Okay, so look, we have a perfectly sized border. I got a little wiggle right there, some paper, but we have a perfectly sized border to go on our card. So I'm going to run through and do that to all of these using the white. And I chose the white because I want it to pop off the card, and I think that's going to do it. So as you can see, I got them all matted, and that didn't take any time. And I actually only used 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 white cardstock, and I had a lot left over actually, so I didn't use the whole thing. So now we're ready to assemble. Now what I'm going to do, I think I'll keep doing this kind of assembly line. This is for my blue backgrounds. I think I'm going to go ahead and put my foam tape on, and I'm just going to use my big roll, which I'm using up lately. So I'm just going to go through the backs of these guys and add foam to all of them and get them ready to go down on the fronts of the cards. I'm going to do it on all the ones for the blue cards and for the red cards. So I have so much ready to go. Now I need to make my card bases. So I'm making 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 cards. That's an A2 sized card. And I'm just going to score these bases that I've pre-cut and get them ready to go. Now I took regular 8.5 by 11 cardstock, cut it in half long ways down the middle, and that gets me 2 card bases for each piece. So this took 7 pieces of white cardstock. This is Neenah 110 pound, and this particular pack I just pick up at the office supply store, and I get it in those big old reams because I love it. But I've also seen it at Walmart in smaller packs. Normally, I would have stamped inside all these card bases, but I decided not to because I don't know exactly how or who I'll be sending these to for the holidays. So sometimes what I like to do is build the card and have it ready and leave the inside blank so I can either write in the whole section, or I can build another panel to go inside based on the reason I'm sending it. I know these are all Christmas and holiday themed, but there may be something specific I want to say or do. And if I have the card made, then 99% of the work is done. I'm just going to build the inside. So let's start putting these together. I'm going to start with the blue because I think it's pretty. So I'm going to grab all of my blue bases here, which are these, and I'm going to glue them down using my art glitter glue. Now you can use anything, whatever your adhesive of choice is here. I like the art glitter glue, especially on this paper, because this is a nice thick paper and it just works really well with it. And it saves me time. I don't have to peel off, release backers or anything like that. I'm just using my art glitter glue and flying through it. So I'm going to put 6 of these down. I did decide to make 6, didn't I? I did decide to make 12, not 14. I think I said 14 card bases, but I still need more card bases. So if I cut some extras, that's all right. Sometimes you might wonder why I want to do these projects where I get all the cards I can out of a pack. I want to show you how much you're getting from one pack of paper. Sometimes these papers are expensive, especially these gorgeous, beautiful Christmas papers like this. I want you to see just how many cards you can get out of it so you can get your money's worth. And if you did like that little book I showed in the beginning of this video, I made that book from one pack of paper and even had enough left over to make an extra little book that goes with it. So one pack of this paper goes a long way. You could technically make it even go further than I am, but I decided to use full sheets as backer pieces like this. I normally don't. Typically, I make tags out of these packs, so I wouldn't normally do this, but I think I had the paper. I should use it. Okay, those are ready to go. Now for the strips that go on top. I'm going to grab some of these, and these are going to get glued directly down. And I'm going to come in about 1/2 inch, and it gets glued top and bottom of the blue piece, or in our other cards it'll be the red piece, but this gets glued directly down. I'm not popping this up on any foam or anything because I've popped our little focal image up on the foam tape. So about 1/2 inch in, you can eyeball it, and they don't have to be exact. You're not going to send 2 cards to the same person, more than likely. So everybody won't be comparing these cards to go, oh, this one's a little off on mine, or this one's a little off on mine. No one's going to compare you. Just get it close. So here's our blue. I went ahead and did our red so we could be caught up to the same point. And now the fun part. Now I'm going to stick these guys on. And like this one, it would go down here in the bottom for me because I think it is cute like that. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the backer off. And then I'm just going to decide where I want it to go. And it's going to overlap that little strip in the back and just leave something like that. So see, I just stuck that in one corner, and you know I'm going to come back and add bling to these because that is what makes them super cute to me. So let's go to the next one. Same thing. I'm just going to run through and stick these guys down everywhere I think they should go. Some will go centered. Some will go more toward the top. Some will go more toward the bottom. Just whatever I think looks best. So I had 2 that I didn't use because there were 14, but we only made 12 because I used 2 sheets of cardstock. And check it out. We'll run through and look at them. Look how cute that is. I love these cards. They are so adorable. I love how they ended up just in different spots on the card. And I think adding the white trim really helped them to all pop. See how it just really stands off the card? I think that matters. Look how cute that one is. I just love all of them. Now, I am going to lay these guys out something like this. Let's just lay some out. Some will probably go off the screen. That's okay. And I'm going to take out my glitter or whatever I want to use, and I'm going to come through and just drop it anywhere I want it. So now I've just gotten into my Nuvo, and I pulled out the red. This one is called Ruby Slippers, and I'm going to use it in like wherever I want to add red glitter, like to his little earmuffs. I'm going to put some on his little muffs and some on his scarf. And I'm not even like piling it up. I'm just kind of scratching it on just to give a little shine. Use a little on his little mittens, and I think along the sleigh here. And that really adds some real cute stuff. I'm going to come out and put lights on that tree. I know it wouldn't work in real life, but I'm going to do it. So then on Santa's hat, I'm going to scratch some glitter around. And it doesn't even have to be full glitter, just some to give it some shimmer. And how about his little lip? So I'm going to do that to all the cards, and they'll be ready to go. Okay, guys, so this is 12 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 more cards to add to our other cards we already did from our previous video, which gives us a total so far of 25 greeting cards from one pack of paper, right? Pretty cool, huh? But I want to show you what's left over that we're still going to use in our next video in this series. So we have these scraps left from this cut. Remember I told you I was going to save these because they're all good sizes. We also have these scraps left from our first cut that are already in my little Ziploc bags. I'm going to add these guys to it so I don't lose them for the next time. Then we have this full sheet, but the back looks like this, and I may turn this into another project. We have a full sheet of stickers we haven't even touched. We have the front page, which you might think is crazy, but you could totally use any of this. We have this full sheet, this full sheet, but this one I'm going to use to make an advent calendar. So we still have a good bit of stuff to keep making cards out of. So in our next video, next Tuesday, we will keep going. Hopefully we'll finish all of the cards in the series next Tuesday, and then I can do the advent calendar and whatever I'm going to do with that other piece. I'm not sure yet about that piece. I'm still thinking about that, you know, that Santa list. But pretty cool, I think, to already have gotten 25 cards. And honestly, I've probably put in 3 hours worth of work if we add it all up totally to get all these cards from this one pack of paper. Pretty cool, huh? All right, stick around for next Tuesday as we'll continue. We'll finish our cards out. And I may even have enough stickers left to make tags out of this set. I said I wasn't going to make tags. I said I was going to make cards. Oh, I didn't show you everything. Hold on. We also have all of these left, which we're going to use on those other pieces of paper. Remember, we had these that didn't fit the way we were doing them. So we still have all that left too. All right, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series. I'm having a lot of fun and getting a lot of Christmas cards made. Look at that. I'm excited. All right, if you're working on your very own How Many Can I Get From One paper pack, share your projects with us on our Facebook group called May May Made It and So Did I, or on our Facebook page called May May Made It, or on our customer gallery on our website, where you can get to that by clicking menu, or not menu, but clicking more on the menu bar on our website, and you'll see customer gallery so you can share photos of what you're making. And tag us on social media, anywhere you're posting things. Tag May May Made It, like and subscribe, do all the fun things, and I'll see you next Tuesday with this project, but I'll see you Thursday with our live video. Thanks so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.